I was born in the mountains of Tennessee, a farm boy with dirt under my nails and no dreams bigger than the next harvest. I didn't grow up chasing medals or glory. I grew up chasing hogs out of the garden, hauling water from the creek, and trying to keep food on the table after my father died. War wasn't my fight. When America entered the Great War in 1917, I didn't cheer like some of the others did. I prayed. By then I had found religion, deep and unshakable, and I believed with all my heart that the commandment was clear: "Thou shalt not kill." So when the draft notice came with my name printed on it, I felt like the ground had split beneath my feet. Some men were excited. Some were angry. I was torn. Not afraid of dying. I'd made peace with that long ago in the hills, but afraid of killing another man. I asked for exemption as a conscientious objector. I told them my faith wouldn't allow me to take a life. They listened, they nodded, and then they denied it. The Army didn't have much patience for a farm boy wrestling with Scripture, so I put on the uniform anyway. The other boys in my unit laughed at the way I talked, at my slow drawl and country manners. They said I looked like I'd wandered off a cornfield and into the wrong line. But when we got to the rifle range, the laughter grew quieter. I'd been shooting since I was tall enough to hold a gun steady. Hunting in the Tennessee hills had taught me patience, breath control, and how to wait for the right moment. I didn't waste bullets. I didn't rush. And before long, the farm boy they mocked was out shooting nearly every one in the regiment. Still, every night before lights out, I knelt beside my bunk and prayed the same prayer: "Lord, don't let me have to kill anyone." I didn't know then that the answer to that prayer wouldn't come the way I expected, and that the hills of Tennessee had prepared me for something far greater than I ever imagined. I arrived in France in the late summer of 1918, and the sights hit me harder than any sermon ever could. Mud that swallowed boots whole, barbed wire stretched like iron fences across the fields, and the distant thrum of artillery like the heartbeat of the world itself. I had prayed for guidance, for a way to serve without breaking my commandment, but the war pressed on, indifferent to my conscience. Our unit was sent to the Meuse-Argonne offensive, a place where fear was constant and death waited around every corner. I moved quietly, keeping my head down, listening, watching, praying, and then it happened. One morning in the chaos of battle, my squad was pinned down by enemy fire. Men were falling all around me, and something inside me snapped. Not in anger, not in hate, but in necessity. I aimed, I shot, and the bullets found their mark, one after another, until the line of fire was silenced. I couldn't believe it. Me, taking lives. But somehow, in that moment, it was not about killing for glory. It was about saving the lives of the men beside me. I did what I had to do, and when it was over, we had captured over 100 prisoners. The war had forced me to confront the very thing I had sworn I would never do, and yet through it all, I never lost the prayers, never lost the hope that God would guide me. The other soldiers looked at me differently after that day. No more laughter at the hill boy's accent. They saw what I had become, not just a marksman, but someone who could stand in the storm and keep his faith intact, even when the world demanded something darker. And I learned something that would stay with me forever. Courage is not the absence of fear or hesitation. Courage is moving forward despite them, guided by your own principles, your own heart, and your God. When the guns finally fell silent and the smoke cleared, I returned to a world that felt both familiar and strange. News of what had happened spread quickly. The farm boy from the Tennessee hills who had captured over 100 enemy soldiers almost single-handedly. People called me a hero. The Army awarded me the Medal of Honor, and there were celebrations, speeches, and photographs. But inside, I felt a mixture of awe, sorrow, and humility. I had survived, yes, but at the cost of taking lives, something I had never imagined I would do. I came home to Tennessee not as the same boy that had left, but as a man who had seen the worst and the best of humanity. I dedicated myself to helping others, building schools and teaching young people that life was worth more than glory or medals. I told them stories of courage, faith, and the difficult choices we sometimes must make. Even now I can hear the hills whispering, reminding me of where I came from, the same hills that taught me patience, perseverance, and respect for life. I fought a war I never wanted, yet I returned with a mission even greater than survival, to live a life that honored God, family, and community. That, I realized, was the true victory.